Hi everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today we're going to talk about another alternative Halloween festival. Now, as you all know, Halloween was during the week, and I'm pleased to say that I didn't have any children looking for sweets knocking on my door. As I mentioned to you, Halloween is based upon a much, much older festival, the roots of which are a little bit hazy. Hazy just means unclear. Anything can be hazy. Boundaries can be hazy. Sometimes you can describe the weather as being hazy, especially when it has that heat coming up off the ground. Anyway, as part of Halloween, some people, as we've discussed during the week, are trying to revive the much older festivals. Now, it's very hard because we don't really know what those much older festivals looked like. The very old Celtic people didn't write anything down. So the only things we do know about them are things that maybe other people have left behind. For example, the Romans, they wrote a lot about the Celts. And there's other sources as well. Right now, we're going to read through a news story on the BBC's website, which is all about the Samhain Fire Festival, which took place in Edinburgh on the night of Halloween. Now, as you probably remember, during the week, I was telling you that in Ireland, Halloween has been largely replaced with the ancient Samhain festival. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually completely accurate, but that's what our news report was telling us. And in Scotland, in Edinburgh, there's also a festival very similar called the Samhain Fire Festival. Some people call it Samhain, some people call it Samhain. I know that even in Galicia, in Spain, they have a celebration of the same thing. So let's read through this article to see what this Samhain Fire Festival was all about. Thousands of people gathered in Edinburgh's Holyrood Park on a Halloween night to celebrate the annual Samhain Fire Festival. The ancient Celtic tradition marks the end of the warmer months and the start of the winter season, retelling the tales of the turning wheel as the seasons change. The battle between the summer and winter queens was brought to life by fire dancing, acrobatics, drumming, and vibrant costumes. It is the counterpart to the Beltane Fire Festival, which is held on 30th of April. And then it continues. There's lots of pictures here, all looking very dramatic, with men and women reenacting some kind of battle. It's very hard to take this seriously for a couple of reasons, I think. The first reason is that this new fire festival, and that's exactly what it is, has only been running since 1988. Secondly, its link to the past is a little bit dubious. I can understand the fire festival happening as we enter winter. We celebrate light and darkness. But another fire festival in spring? I would have thought the Celts would want to celebrate in other ways, not only with fire. And the other question is, where do these two queens come from? the summer and winter queens were brought to life. But it's not clear and there's no background information here. I know a little bit about Celtic culture. I've never heard anything about queens, summer or winter. However, it could be new evidence, I don't know. But either way, you can see how some people now are moving away from this traditional Halloween into something more. Well, it didn't look like that where I live. This really was Halloween Central. We had a huge Halloween parade, which was much bigger than any other parade I've ever seen, except possibly Pride. And it had glowing people marching through the streets, 3D figures, all kinds of tricks of light. It even had acrobats in the sky doing all kinds of, well, what appeared to be miraculous things. So I don't think we're just ready to let go of Halloween just yet. After all, many people are just discovering how big a celebration Halloween is here. Anyway, Halloween has all gone now. In a matter of one day, it's been swept away. What's left of Halloween? Well, nothing. Because next week, it's Guy Fawkes Night. And that will be the subject of our weekly lesson of next week. And you can hear all about Guy Fawkes. He was a bad man who tried to destroy our Houses of Parliament. I don't really know why that earns him a name and a night. It's a little bit strange that. You'd think we would call it the Night of Disaster. But no, we're actually quite happy to call the night after this man. We call something after someone, meaning we name them in respect of that thing. A baby named after his father. A girl named after her mother, for example. Right, so that takes us to the end of Halloween. We can look forward to Guy Fawkes. And then the next ceremony that's coming up, of course, will be Remembrance Sunday. If you watch British TV, you may have noticed that many of our TV broadcasters are wearing little red flowers. They used to be simple red poppies, but these days they're covered in green and they look rather elaborate and expensive. It's to raise money for those people who died during the war, or more appropriately, it raises money for those who survived the war who are still alive. And also, the money raised from selling those poppies goes towards the families of those who are fighting wars in different parts of the world these days. The poppy has been a symbol of blood spilt, and it's something which everyone does, especially anyone in the public eye, in order to show that they're supporting our war heroes. I have to say, I'm very against the whole thing, and this is all done in order to remember those people who have died before us as well. And poppies will be worn at a very special church service on Remembrance Sunday, where they tell us all that we have to shut up for 1 minute at 11 a.m. Now, of course, we should almost certainly remember people who have died in the war. However, it's getting a bit late. I mean, well, most people who died during the war, there's fewer and fewer people left to remember them. You know, if you were fighting the war in 1939, that means you'd need to have been born at least 1926, 27, I think, for the Second World War. You might have a younger sister that might remember your younger brother, but it's kind of unlikely at this stage. Also, the First World War, I doubt there's anyone alive these days who would remember it. So, is it time to let go of these traditions? Well, some people say yes, some people say no, but I'm sure in the future this will be moved on. And I say that because the people who keep these memories alive are usually the churches. On Remembrance Sunday, the king, along with church officials, will take a lot of these poppies, these flowers, and will lay them at the cenotaph, the War Memorial in London. And that happens all across the UK, in my town as well. They will take flowers, poppies, to the local War Memorial and will lay them down there. That's a tradition that happens every year. But, well, as more and more churches disappear, who's going to be doing that in the future, I wonder? Because, it was a very big religious event in the past, but I don't think it is now. So the future of that looks like it's changing. For good or for bad, well, I wouldn't like to say. But that's the next big event that's coming up in the UK. So we have Guy Fawkes Night on the 5th of November, when there'll be fireworks everywhere. And then there'll be Remembrance Sunday, which I think will be next Sunday. I don't think it's this one. I'll have to check. And then what's after that? Well, of course, there's American Thanksgiving. We don't have that here at the end of November. We do have Black Friday sales, but that's a new thing. That suddenly just appeared 10, 15 years ago. And I think probably because of companies like Amazon or Apple, although they don't always participate in Black Friday. Amazon does. I don't think Apple does. So you see, we're still learning. Even though America is close to us, it's our ally, supposedly. We don't always celebrate the same things. So that's an interesting thing that's coming up as well, Thanksgiving in America. And I'll see if I can dig out some information to tell you more about that. Very not British. I mean, to sit around the table and to say what you're grateful for, oh no, not British at all. In fact, to put British people around the table with their family, wow, we'll have the guns ready, metaphorically, of course, waiting for someone to say something wrong so that we can disagree with them. Oh, yeah, Christmas is bad enough, I think. Anyway, so that's coming up. That'll be Thanksgiving. And then, of course, we have Christmas also. That's going to be on the 24th. That'll be exciting. I'll bring you some lovely podcasts about our Christmas decorations and what they look like. I'll try to get out, have a look around, and also just share with you the spirit of these celebrations as they happen. Well, that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this, all about the Samhain Festival. Is this the future of Halloween? Well, I don't think so. Not quite yet, but it is gathering ground, gaining momentum, or gathering speed, as we say. So more and more people are looking at it, especially in Scotland, as they try to look away from the English government towards something more interesting. There we are. All right then, see you all soon. Bye.